It's a pleasure to welcome the 102nd United States Open champion, Tiger Woods. Tiger, congratulations on your fine play today.
Thank you.
What is it about this championship, this victory, that distinguishes it from the other 7 majors that you've won?
Well, I think playing on a public facility such as this is, they've done an incredible job this week of getting this golf course ready. On top of that, the changes they've made to the golf course make it this difficult for all of us. And on top of that, the fans, the enthusiasm they show the entire week, that's second to none. And on top of that, the U.S. Open is always a special event. But I think after what has transpired in September here for all the fans, I think that just makes it the atmosphere even more special.
Tiger, could you take a moment and walk through your birdies, bogeys, and any saves you had out there?
Okay. First hole, I hit 3-wood off the tee, a pitching wedge that spun off the shelf, and had about a 35-footer, left it short, about 6 feet, and missed that. The next hole, I hit a pitching wedge long, about 30 feet again. Left that about 3 feet short left, missed that putt. Birdied 7, hit a 3-wood off the tee. I'm sorry, 2-iron off the tee. Hit a 7-iron to about 15 feet and made it. Birdied 13, hit a driver off the tee, a 2-iron to about 20 feet and 2-putted. And 16, a driver in the left rough, a 9-iron in the left bunker, blasted out to about 8 feet and missed it. And 18, I hit a 3-iron off the tee, 6-iron pin high about 40 feet, and ran it by about 4 or 5 feet and missed it.
Thank you. Let's take some questions, please. Go right down here in the front.
Tiger, congratulations.
Thanks.
First of all. How long does it take you to put this behind you and start working on your links game, and what exactly is that going to involve, and what is your schedule between now and Muirfield?
Right now, I could care less about that. I'll be honest with you. I am going to celebrate this one. This one was hard fought. I mean, this one was tough. With the conditions being this difficult, and they kept changing. Every day we had to play a different golf course. And today we played 2 different golf courses, one with the greens running at about 15 on a step meter, Craig told me, and then they slowed up with the rain, and then the wind died out. So we had 2 different golf courses again today. It's going to be a while before I start working on my links game.
Take a question right here in the front, please.
Congratulations, Tiger. Can you talk about the difficulty of this course and the challenge that Bethpage Black created, and what your overall opinion about the course is now?
Yeah, well, this what I've been told by the USGA, this is obviously the longest one, but it's also the narrowest USGA they've ever played. U.S. Open they've ever played. The widest fairway is 28 yards, and on top of that, you have 3 holes about 490 plus as par 4s. That's not a whole lot of room to work with, and it just made for a very difficult test the entire week. And you had to, you couldn't just slap it around and play poorly and contend in this championship. You had to play well, and I was able to do that the entire week.
Take the question in the back right, please.
Tiger, a 2-part question, although he's not here. The first one is, today was Father's Day. Could you sort of let us know what sort of exchanges you had with your dad today? And then the second part is, much has been made about the fact that you won a Tiger Slam as opposed to a Grand Slam, and I know you probably don't think that, but how much does that, in A, sort of cheapen what you have already done, and B, how much does that motivate you to now come and do it in a calendar year?
Well, my dad, I tried to call him this morning, but he wasn't around. So I'll call him when I get home. I've won the Slam before. I've won 4 major titles in a row, and no one's ever done that, not 4 professional majors. And that's something that I am very proud of. You can call it what you want, but when I was at home, I had all 4 trophies on my mantle. And there's no other person can say that. So this will be a different type of Slam, I guess. It'd be in a calendar year. So I think the build up to the British Open will be certainly a lot easier than what I had to deal with going up to Augusta, dealing with the 7 months of every single tournament I played in. I got asked that question. What is it going to be like to go for 4 in a row? So this one was now it comes month after month. The next 2 months to get 2 majors, and I think it's certainly made a lot easier from that aspect.
Question in the back, please.
Tiger, it seemed as though the birdie on 13, at least to many of us, was pretty much the end of the tournament. Obviously, you had a few holes left. Talk to us about that and the carryover the rest of the way.
Well, I hit a really nice drive there and hit just a beautiful high cut 2-iron, and just barely missed that putt for eagle. I think I had a 3-shot lead at the time, but still I still had some tough holes to play. And if Phil makes 1 or 2 more birdies coming in, I couldn't afford to make a mistake. So even though I had a 3-shot lead, I still had to keep plugging along. And if I parred out, then he would have to make 3 more birdies to force it into Monday. And I kept telling myself, just continue to do what you're doing. Just stay committed to each and every shot. Put the ball where you need to put it, and move on.
Take the question here, please.
Tiger, do you get a sense that you're the only variable now in a tournament when you're
I'm sorry, can you speak up? Sorry.
Do you get a sense that when you're in a tournament, you're the only variable? When you're playing well, no one else can beat you?
I don't get a sense of that, no. I don't think people actually understand how difficult this sport is. If you play it, you should know. This sport is very difficult and it's very fickle. You can play well and you can lose. That's just the nature of this sport. You get some breaks that are bad. Things just don't happen your way, but you're playing well, and consequently you don't win. I've played well and not won. The other guy hasn't played well and just beat me for some reason. And that's the way the nature of the sport is. And just because I'm playing well doesn't guarantee that I'm going to win the tournament.
Question in the front, please.
Tiger, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Yesterday you were talking about your swing wasn't quite right and you were trying to adjust a little bit on the fly. Did you solve that problem at all today, or was there still a little tinkering to be done out there?
No, I felt really comfortable with my swing. I did some good work last night. Hit a few balls and I really felt like I was swinging the club like I did the first 2 days. And I just wanted to go out today. My warm-up session went really well this morning. I hit the ball very crisp and very solid, and I said, you know what, just do what you did the first 2 days. Just go out there and hit the ball that way, and you'll be fine.
Right here, please.
I'm sure you heard a lot of the cheering for Phil and the sounds of happy birthday being sung around the course. What that was like to continue through your round, whether there was anything going on?
No, I think that made it a lot easier for me, because obviously he had to deal with a lot more distractions than I did. I heard a few times them singing happy birthday, which meant that he had to deal with an extra distraction. And I didn't have to deal with that. A lot of the fans were obviously up there with him, trying to get him to make a move, and on top of that, they also wanted to sing happy birthday. So that made it that much easier for me. And I just wanted to go out there and keep plugging along. And I could hear what he was doing up there. You didn't have to look at the boards. You knew when he made birdie. You knew when he made par.
In the back of the room, please.
Tiger, that having been said, congratulations, by the way, but that
Thanks,
having
Tommy.
been said, you heard that he got a birdie at the first hole. You didn't start the way you wanted to.
Right.
Can you just talk about after the second hole, how you regrouped, maybe your experience helped you through the rest of the 16?
Well, I kept telling myself going to the third hole, I'm not playing bad. I hit good shots on the first 2 holes. I just hit poor putts. And, the green's running this quickly. It's okay. You're going to make a mistake. And I said, you just get your mistakes out of your system. Go ahead and continue playing well. Just got to work on my pace a little bit more. And on the third hole, I just left the putt right on the lip. So I said, you know what, my pace is there again. I figured it out, got my pace back. But I still have to hit the ball in position to get myself some putts. And, I did that all day. I hit the ball beautifully. And, I gave myself a lot of looks, and I converted on just a couple of them.
Right in the front, please.
Are you amazed by by the lack of serious opposition today, and how do you explain that?
What were you watching? Yeah, I mean, Phil played great. I mean, he had a heck of a round.
Got you.
No, I mean, there's only going to be one winner, but you know, Phil played just an absolute fantastic round of golf. I mean, he just made a couple mistakes at the end, but anything could have happened. This is U.S. Open. We've seen this happen before. I mean, last year, for instance. You know, it's this golf course will set up so difficult, and you make one mistake here and there, you're gonna pay a price. And you know, Phil made a mistake at the end, and so did I. I made a few mistakes as well, but I was able to hang in there and throughout the middle part of the round to give myself a cushion.
In the back on the left, please.
Tiger, with your win today, gives you 8 majors, moves you up to tie for 5th place in the all-time list. You went by Jones, you went by Hogan, you went by Palmer, Saracen. Could you reflect upon what that means at 26 to be there and having won 8 of the last 12 majors? The enormity of that is a little bit overwhelming to most people. How is it to you?
I think I've won 7 out of 12, haven't I? 7 out of 11? Is that what it is? 7 11. You know, the move up on that list is, you know, as a kid, you just dreamt of just winning one, and to put yourself in that position, and I've done that a few times, and I don't think, I mean, it's so hard to describe, you know, how good it feels to win a major championship, because it takes so much out of you, and it's so difficult to do, because you have to really play well. I mean, you got to be at the top of your game in order to win a major championship, and you can't go out there and slop it around and win. And it's just really neat to look at the guys on the list that I'm a part of now, and you know, and hopefully my career will keep being positive.
You're on the aisle.
Tiger, congratulations.
Thanks.
Can I ask you, without to denigrate the Tiger Slam, which I think was a great achievement, at the same time, with all the focus on a calendar year Grand Slam, which would be a bit different, is it something you feel is doable? Is it something you want to accomplish? And I know you obviously you want to win the British Open and the PGA, but is that a goal that is something that you're looking for and you would like to achieve?
Well, it's certainly doable because I've done it before. I kept, you know, to win all 4 in a calendar year, I think it would just be different, because as I said earlier, that at that one time in my household, there was all 4 major championships right there, and no one else in the world had them but me. And you know, that was a very special time of my life, and you know, hopefully I can do it again, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a lot of fun going out there and competing at Muirfield to win another one.
Let's go here across the aisle.
2, if I may. Have you played Muirfield? And second,
No.
You never played Muirfield. Secondly, I think you hit 11 or 12 fairways today, and it looked like 15 greens in regulation. Given the conditions and difficulty, would this be maybe the best ball striking round you've had in a final of a major?
In a final round of a major, probably yes. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't miss hit a shot today. I may have put the ball in a spot I didn't want to put it, but I hit it flush. I hit it solid, and I mean, I really hit the ball clean today, and that to do that in the final round of a major championship, hit it that clean, that flush, it wasn't easy, but I was able to do it.
Back left, please.
Tiger, this round started at 3:30 this afternoon. Number one, was that a little surprising to you? And number 2, how ticked off would you have been if you had to come back and finish this off tomorrow?
Well, if I think I got the description of why they did it. Do you know why? Oh, okay. Maybe they just told me because the Lakers swept. They didn't have anything in prime time, and then they wanted to compete against 60 Minutes, so they moved us back. So that's there's the story. But what was the second part? I'm sorry. Oh, how upset if I had to come back on Monday? You know, not really, because if I could walk out of here with the trophy, I wouldn't bother me to come back on Tuesday. They used to start earlier, but I guess you can blame everything on LA. Which I'm not complaining about, trust me.
Tiger, you mentioned mistakes. There are physical mistakes and there are mental mistakes in the game of golf. Over the 4 days, how many times do you recall making a bad mental decision, not a misread, pulling the wrong club or trying the wrong shot?
None.
Can you think in the Masters, how far back do you have to go to find a mental mistake in a major?
I don't know. Sorry, I really don't.
Right here in the front, please.
On that question about mental mistakes, you impress me as someone that has remarkable mental focus, really unusual mental focus. Do you feel that's something that is a natural ability, or have you consciously trained yourself to be able to focus out the massive amount of distraction in crowds that you're constantly dealing with?
I think from at an early age, in comparison to the other kids at my age, I was able to do it a little bit better than the others. But also through experience, I've gotten a little bit better as well. I've learned how to get better, how to concentrate more on what I'm doing out there and block out other distractions. And when you come out as an amateur, there's no one watching when you play amateur golf, and all of a sudden you got thousands of people out here in professional golf, and then you never hear Porter John slamming, or there's a whole bunch of different things, a whole bunch of different distractions you have to learn how to deal with on the PGA Tour. And then you got to learn how to deal with that. On top of that, added with more people on the final pairings. So I've had to gain, as I've gotten better. I've gotten better at concentrating because of experience.
Take the question in the center right here, please.
Yeah, congratulations. It did look tougher than the Lakers beating the Nets. Two things. One is, in retrospect, do you think the most important round here you played was Friday in the rain? Secondly, you weren't, your first few trips to an Open, you weren't as successful. And the last several, you've obviously figured out. So did you have an epiphany about playing in this event, and what happened there? And was it a physical or mental thing that got you?
If you look at, well, I'll answer the second part first. If you look at the way I've finished in the major championships, let's just say the U.S. Opens in general, I've gotten better because if you remember back in '97, I changed my swing, and it took a little while for it to kick in, and then in '99, right before the Byron Nelson, it finally kicked in. All the work that I've done for about a year and a half finally was put together, and it became more natural. Hence, when I came to a U.S. Open, I didn't necessarily make bad decisions. I made them here and there, but I was that much better of a player where I could hit the ball more consistently in the correct spots. And then from '99 on, my record reflects that. This first part of your question, Friday's round was extremely important to shoot a good number there, and I was able to do that, especially coming a short turnaround after Thursday, late in the afternoon. Came right back out early Friday morning, playing those weather conditions, and shoot a round under par. I mean that was tough, but I was lucky enough to be able to do it.
This question here, please.
Excuse me. Congratulations on winning your second U.S. Open, Tiger.
Oh, thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but with this win, for the number of years that you've been a professional, you've kept pace with Jack Nicklaus's record in the majors, 7 majors, because when he won in '67 at Baltusrol, he had 7 majors. And I was just wondering if you had thought about that before the tournament began, and if you didn't, do you consider Jack Nicklaus your only rival? Because you don't seem to have any contemporary rivals.
No, that was not something I was aware of starting out the week. And as far as Jack being my own rival, I'm not playing against him. Jack quit playing major championships, some of them, a few years back, and these are the guys I got to try and beat somehow. And it's not like I'm winning every one. I have lost, and I don't think anyone realized realizes how tough it is to win a major championship. You make it sound like it's so easy, but it's not. I mean, you got to really hit the ball well, and you got to just grind it out and make a lot of putts. I mean, you got to really be committed to what you're doing out there. It's not easy to win, but I've been able to do it somehow.
Take one final question on the left here, please.
Tiger, I guess you've heard such noise as you heard today in a Ryder Cup or in a match play situation, but have you ever heard as much noise in a stroke play event as greeted you on the first and down the first and maybe the second? First part. Second part, when someone shouted out as Sergio was about to play his second shot on the first, "We love you, Tiger," did you A, clock it, and B, think, oh gosh, I hope we don't have much more of that, or what did you think?
Well, first off, no, I didn't. I've never played in front of galleries such as this. I don't think anyone has, really. This is completely new to all of us. For them to be this excited from the first tee to the 18th green, they were pretty revved up. But, going down the first hole, I was just hoping that the fans wouldn't cross the line with the comments they would use throughout the day. And to be honest with it, yes, they did. There were fans that crossed the line, but the majority of them didn't. And the majority of them were obviously excited but respectful. And that's all the only thing you can ask is that they don't cross that line and behave that way. There's nothing wrong with showing enthusiasm. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just as long as you're respectful to the players out there as well as the other fans that are in the galleries.
Tiger, thank you for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you
Enjoy
very
your
much.
year as champion.